We have started recording. Yes, it is 6 p.m. Oh, right. I've got a cover over my camera. That's why. There we go. Bring a little fun with the hat. Good evening, everyone. How are we?
We are good.
Excellent.
And totally forgot about making the stand-up fun and trying to find something.
I like that shirt, though. Built tough.
1 second.
All right. You know, he is usually the only one that's working out on stand-up. I want that. I want to iterate that.
Maybe the call it the walk-on.
And literally the walk-on. It will happen. I'll do it after work.
Okay, how's this?
Yeah, I can still hear you. I love it. Excellent.
It's going to get hot, but we'll see.
Hey, it increases more sweating, more caloric burn, and you just need to make sure you rehydrate plenty. Alrighty, let's get started. So last week we were able to empty out Bay 1 and get the Red NSX started and plowing through. It's looking great. We also hit a couple of blocks. About that later. What else did we accomplish? We got the website back up initiated, and it looks like it's going through. There's a couple of things. The rest of the next week and the rest of the week, we're planning on finishing the install. I'm really happy Nathan's here to help out as well, to provide his professional expertise in Hondas and especially the NSX. Our intern just arrived. It was awesome. He's taking over some more of the Scrum Master role. Hey, Lauren.
Hey.
Just in time. Yes. And that is it. You want to just follow up since you just arrived? I know he didn't give you much chance to take a breather.
Oh, that's all right. Hi, everyone. It's Gunnar Israel here at the Linwood site. Are we just started? Right?
Just started, yeah.
Okay.
And I forgot, yes, William Newing from the also Linwood, Washington product owner site.
Right. I always jump to retrospective first.
I know you want to. You better give yourself a good one.
So what was the first?
What we did last week,
what
you're gonna do this week.
So last week we were kind of just working, making some space here in the shop to start working on the Red NSX, and this week that's what we have been doing. I think things have been going pretty successful lately. Like, for example, we were able to put car number 8 on its side.
That was exciting.
Good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Trying to maneuver through this tightly spaced shop. I know it's 1800. We were like, no, let's try it. We had all these elaborate ideas, like, okay, maybe if we put stuff out, or maybe we can get an extra couple of hands, put it on rollers, move it out. I'm like, no, I think we could still snake it through the shop somehow, and we did. So
yeah, it worked. So I'm pretty glad with that. And yeah, I think next week too we might still be working on the NSX, but we'll see how much we can get done this week, because it's still, today's Thursday. That's right.
Yeah, I think we're on trend to finish up pretty soon. Another thing, the networking. You want to share that?
Oh, yes. So March 14th, that's Pi Day. It's a very, very important day to me. Yeah, March 14th, I'm gonna be going with William to Seattle. What was it called? The
New Tech Northwest.
Yeah, to see some other companies. Is it kind of like a career fair? Is that how it is? I'm not sure how to imagine it.
Yeah, in a way. It is a little bit about a career fair. They do have a career fair coming up at the end of next month also.
Nice.
I would probably encourage just to check it out a little bit more and maybe even sign up when we're there, if that's feasible. Okay. We'll have our phones, so we'll go from there. After stand-up and retro, that's you and I connect and talk about how we want to coordinate. Also, your spring quarter next quarter schedule.
Yes.
So we will probably likely change up some of the build times here, other than Thursdays. Thursdays is nope, that's not going to change. Not for us, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that's it.
Okay. Nathan, did you want to join up on the stand-up, or are you going to start trucking away?
I don't think I really have anything to add. I didn't really get a whole lot done last week, but did get this engine out of the NSX sold, so got to get that dropped out today.
That's progress.
Got a new engine in the works, and I think today we're gonna maybe chat about some options for the body to get some stuff done. We've got some ideas we're gonna throw around. Obviously slated for after the AC's back into the red NSX, and move on from there. That's about all I got.
Thank you. Awesome.
Sorry, the incorrect format, but
no, that was good. That was right.
I forgot a crazy hat or a crazy item to bring.
Something.
That's all right. That's all right.
Next time.
wait, what? What is this?
All right. Who would like to go next? Don't everybody jump at once.
Okay.
All right,
I
Chris.
guess I'll go if no one else is.
So,
Okay, so I'm Chris Wallace, the product owner of the Burleson.
so one of the Nathan, one of the
last week,
was to bring a
Okay, I received and also and scheduled drop-off of a 3D printer kit. So hopefully eventually we'll have 3D printing capabilities in the Burleson, Texas shop. I did some
and Lee goes, "Oh yeah, okay."
enhancements, cleanup on the website. And then yesterday I contacted the makers of the forthcoming Ability 3D desktop metal printer that can handle aluminum.
It's cool.
The difference between this printer and some of the, I would say, previous designs that I've seen is that it actually uses a MIG welder and a milling machine together to be able to get better precision than they're getting with like the aluminum atomized powder. For next week, actually tomorrow, I plan on dropping off that 3D printer kit to a local homeschool family who's going to build it as a learning project. And then when that's done, it's actually going to live in a local kindergarten class for at least a couple of weeks, so they get to see some neat things that can be made with small, awesome new technologies. For the shop, I believe I can make it there Sunday. I've got in-laws coming in, so I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be there or not. But if I can make it there, it'll be some shop cleanup and then thing needed to start the steering column attachment. So we'll probably, at the very least, start planning out how that's going to go down. The only blocks I have isn't necessarily WIKISPEED related, but could affect WIKISPEED. Is I'm thinking about if I can work out the finances and the schedule on it, starting some martial arts classes. There's actually a Shaolin Do dojo about 5 minutes from my house, which is amazing, and they offer kung fu and tai chi classes. The issue being that with this weekly scheduled stand-up, so it may interfere with me actually being able to attend this, and that's the only real block that I have. So I believe that wraps it up for me.
Thank you, Chris. I agree. The scheduling was one of the hard things with the classes. Each quarter of season, the Shaolin place that I was going to change it up, and it was making that even more difficult. Pricing was one thing. It was something that I was trying to hedge through, but the winter was really hard. So, thank you. I think Lauren is going next. I love that prop.
Say hello to my little friend. Okay. Yeah. So past week I didn't do too much, but I did share with Michael a block to do with the. And I also a proposal to get around it to do with the final bits of the 501c. Joe's asked me to just go ahead with it. And my idea is to maybe go over it one more time with Michael and maybe some people in Linwood, if any of them can answer questions about the past financials. But basically, I'm gonna annotate things rather, and I'm thinking that what I shared with Michael was that given that all these 501c applications are here, non-profit groups, I'm not going to be too fussy. I'll say this is a partial year. I've only got 2 months of one of the years, so this is a partial year for this one, for one of the 5 years, and. It actually has things where you can use estimates and things like that if you don't have data. And upcoming week again, just continue with that before I leave on the 20th for Arizona. And blocks are trying to get some more income, and by doing some red tape I can, but the red tape is challenging. Basically, some of the things you qualify I qualify for are they assume you're fraudulent until you prove otherwise. And I guess that's it for me. Yeah, so that's it for me right now. Oh yeah, and I'm in Gabriola Island, British Columbia, where it's snowing right now. I don't know if you can see past me out the window. Yeah.
Yeah, we
There you
can.
go.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, have you got snow in Linwood?
So ago.
Don't
Yeah.
tell me that.
No, really, it was. It is
Michael's gone yet, but he's gonna just laugh about me here.
Okay, thank you, Lauren.
Okay. Michael Wolchuk, Saskatoon. Didn't get a lot done last week. I posted the beginning of a Spark, beginning of a frequently asked questions. I haven't gotten any response back, so I think I'll probably repost it for this week. And I was hoping to continue on the drafting package, getting another drawing done and posted for next week, and process any feedback that I get. And I guess that's about it for me. I'm going to make a comment on Lauren's suggestion. If we can use an estimate, since most of our expenses count as miscellaneous anyway, I don't think they're going to care all that too terribly much, especially when you're estimating numbers that are so low. So,
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I think I agree with Joe. Just get her done and get her sent in. That should be it for me.
Thank you, Michael. I think everyone has gone. Whoever has not gone, please join now. Oh, there's Mary Michael. Perfect timing. It is still stand-up, and it is your turn for stand-up. Can you hear us? You're muted.
Yeah, Mary Mike, we can see you speaking, but we can't hear you. Still muted. Still muted.
There you go.
There we go. How weird. Okay. So, what have I done since last time I talked to you guys? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. And my parents are screaming in the background.
What you did last week, what you're doing this week, and any blocks.
Okay, what did I do last week? Last week, I went over final designs for childcare or iSons with kids furniture, and provided her with the other design options, and found compostable pods for the Keurig, and she did decide to stay with the children's furniture that has already been ordered. What else? Talked to Joe. Got the dates also for the May training, and put that on the calendar. And I will work out with William when's a good time for me to actually head out there for that. Let's see. Blocking issues. Blocking issues are mostly just trying to get into the new balance of things, of life back here, and still participate in WIKISPEED. Obviously, I have missed lots of stand-ups because I'm not doing that balance really well. And for next week, a lot of it depends on what the priorities are. And like William, some about what marketing steps we want to take and which of those he thinks I'm best suited to, or we should partner with Scrum Inc. on in order to build the Make Lab. So that's what I got. Only that I need to. Only that I need to pair with you and kind of decide and prioritize what we need to do in terms of the marketing.
Sounds good. We can do that in crosstalk.
Awesome.
And Mary Michael is from Colorado. That, I believe, then wraps up our stand-up. Let's move on to retrospective. Rate yourself, that's right. I'll start us off. Let's see, rating myself, I will give myself a 10. I think we did a good job in assessing where our levels are and what we needed to do and planning. Actually, Gunnar and I spent a good amount of time planning and grooming and looking at what things are realistic or at least close to. And then we started executing and did it really nicely. We did manage to find some blocks, that happens, and we removed them or addressed them quickly also. So you noticed that we had a drop in our velocity, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a constant thing. So we're seeing that we will likely be able to move forward and accelerate even further. I think the rest of this week.
It's just because you missed me. That's the real reason.
Absolutely, as well as even increasing by next week. So we're looking at a lot of good items coming through. How happy am I as my role? I think I can do a little bit more. So I want to give myself, rating the team. 10, also the team. Team's great as far as support. The different projects that we're divided on working on is excellent as we are trying to pair up even digitally. I'm hoping the other member could make it to give us some good news, but Lee has been actually an integral part too in taking on some of that task as a volunteer as well. So I want to give a shout out to her as this will be reviewed online. And my constant improvement, I don't have one actually. Shame on me. Which I should probably knock myself down to a 9.5 maybe. But I'll keep it at 10, and perhaps I'll have something by the end. And let's continue with Gunnar. How about that?
So, I think I would actually give myself a 10 this time. Yeah, I feel like I've done a lot of, I think, solid work, with the WIKISPEED tracking, working on the vehicles, And I feel like I've learned a lot too, and I think that's why I would give myself, rather than like say a 9 or a 10, because I feel like I've been learning a lot lately, and I've been able to apply it too. Like Google Excel, I'm actually really liking it, and I'm actually applying that to my personal life too. Things have been working out pretty well with that, and that's why I'd give myself a 10. And for the team, I'd definitely give a 10 as well. I'd say maybe even 11, because
we're just all that awesome.
Yeah, I think we've been getting a lot of stuff done, and I think there's a lot of progress to show it as well. For constant improvement, I think just constantly working on harnessing my Excel skills. You can never get too good, or not too good, but rather you can never be perfect at it, I think. So, yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic.
I think that's all.
Thank you, Gunnar. And Nathan. How do you rate yourself 1 to 10, and then rate the team 1 to 10?
I'm gonna probably rate myself probably about a 3.5 or maybe a 4. It's okay. Don't give me that look, Mary Michael. I seen you. All right. Yeah. I see you. And part of that is because I'll take responsibility for the drop in velocity. I think I threw off these guys' chi a little bit last week. No, I'm going to give myself a 3.5. Just getting back on the horse. So looking forward to contributing a little bit more. Going to get some of these projects rolling a little bit. Still kind of catching up to speed on stuff. So I will absolutely give the team a 10. You guys are doing great. My own process improvement. I could be staying on top of communications and what's going on with WIKISPEED a little bit more. I've been a little bit out of the loop. Admittedly, I've had some personal stuff going on. But yeah, things are moving forward. The ice is thawing, and yeah. So got some big things coming down the pipe the next few months.
a process improvement or a constant improvement?
Oh, constant improvement. Yeah, keeping up on communications.
Okay, thank you.
For me at least.
Or for the team or
Process improvement for the team. Well,
you don't have to have one. If you have one,
I don't think I really have one.
That's okay.
I have no complaints.
Okay. Perhaps we'll find one at the end, and if we don't, it's fine too. That happens. I believe that then.
I had to go and put my coveralls. Let's see. So I'm going to go with a 7 for me, because I have not made it to the shop location in at least 2 weeks, and that's where the velocity that can actually be seen in car number 11 drops off horrendously when I do not get over there. And it's very hard to get back into it when I've taken a break from it. I always have to go back and really review the backlog and everything like that. And that's mostly, the job hunt in school is taking a lot of my time right now. Definitely a 10 for the team. I'm seeing a lot of people, really everyone, participating on all the threads, on the call, on the projects that they're working on. And there seems to be a devotion to the concept of process improvement on the team as a whole. So I definitely like that. I wrote this down. This is kind of maybe an off-topic process improvement, but it came up with something I was talking to Joe about the other day. I'd like to see in research and look into the possibility of having automated finite element analysis for our CAD. So once we come up with a new CAD design for a module, that basically the finite element analysis will allow us to use simulation to basically crash test it or whatever. And if there was a way to make that either very easy or automated, where you just submit the latest CAD and it runs it, that I think would be very beneficial as an automated test. That wraps it up for me.
Thank you. Lauren, I think that takes to you.
Excuse me.
Nice intro.
That'd be solid 3 for me. I did. I'm here to look at the thing again, and actually, I had to step back for a minute and make that decision to annotate and just go ahead. For the team, a 10. For the process improvement, I don't have a general one. I'm thinking about kind of high level stuff, but it's not really formulated yet. So I'm gonna pass on the process improvement.
Thank you. And Michael, I believe that brings to you.
Yep. I'm going to give myself 6. I think I'm going to vote up Lauren to at least a 6 because you got stuff done, you made decisions, and you're making progress. For the team, I haven't seen quite as much progress as the rest of you have. I guess maybe it's not being communicated as much. I'm going to go with 9.5. And for a process improvement, unfortunately, I haven't thought of one. So just off to other topics, it is minus 30 here, which is 20 below zero. And we go anywhere from 0 snow to about 2 feet because it was windier than heck the last few days. So it took all of the snow that was in the nice open areas and piled it right in front of my door and stuff. So anyway, that's it for me.
Michael, is the blizzard still on, or is the wind died?
The wind is down. It's only like 5 or 10 kilometers an hour right now, so put and shovel everything, and it won't immediately fill up.
Have you? Are there sundogs? Are there ice crystals?
You'd have to have the sun visible for that, so I doubt it, I guess.
It's still a blizzard. Well, thank you, Michael. And Mary, Michael, I believe it's your turn.
Ruby. Let's see. I give myself, I give myself a 6. And the reason I give myself a 6 is because my history has been over-involvement or uninvolvement, and the involvement that I had was productive and steady, and it's a good start. So I'm happy with that. For the team, I am not entirely plugged in with everything the team's doing, so I'm not quite aware yet. The few interactions that I did have, particularly with William, were heartening, put it that way. Really, really positive outcome. So since we're probably at a good night, because we can always be more spectacular, but I really don't know for sure how everybody's doing. So, and process improvement. I have personal process improvement that I have begun, and that is to be more Trello-fied. And I'll cross-talk with you guys some more about that in terms of what the team can do. I'm not qualified to say this week. I'll know more later.
Thank you, Mary Michael. I think there's only 2 or 3 proposed process improvements. Correct me if I'm wrong, team. One from Chris Wallace is an automation of our our finished CAD designs of the material, I believe, is what one of those were. The other one, Nathan, was better communications, which just seems like a theme with what Michael was mentioning, that we should communicate more on what was being completed in our demo videos as well, as far as I think sending it out to the team. And then Mary Mike, you said Trello more. So those are 3. Okay. Voting for 1 is Chris Wallace's automation, and I think that's something we're going to have to figure out how to do that, as far as if there's any steps in what you're envisioning of the automation. Thank you, Nathan. And then 2, that is to communicate better with our progress. And then 3, which is to Trello more. Okay, on the count of 3, everybody hold up their hands and figure out which one they want to vote. Do we know what we're voting for? Nobody says no. Okay. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. I see 1, 2, 2 twos, 2 ones,
We have a three-way
1 3.
tie.
There's 7 of us, yes. So we have a split between better communication and the automation, I believe. The automation for the CAD design material. Okay, so 1 or 2.
I can't vote for that because I don't understand it, but it sounds like it's really snazzy and a good idea.
You know, I'll change my vote. I'm always a fan of automation.
Okay, automation wins.
Hey, Lauren. I can't see you. I don't know if they can.
Lawrence disappeared.
I saw Lauren vote for 1 for the automation.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
The automation wins. I think a little more description of the automation of what material would help, Chris. Is something you want to discuss a little bit more about that now, or you want to wait till crosstalk?
I would just say about it briefly that I've looked into. There are some open source CAD packages that I didn't about, except that they exist, that do this exact thing. So that's more than likely the process improvement will not be, but to find the plan and how to implement it.
Hey, Chris.
And what does it actually do, Chris?
It's called the finite element analysis, and there's another 3-letter term. Basically, it's a way of testing in CAD based on the materials that it will be information that you would normally, like in our case, get from a crash test or tensile testing or stress testing, any of that kind of thing. So it's a way of automating our CAD designs and validating them before we actually physically build a part.
Didn't Joe actually write something like that?
No, they exist. Most of the commercial CAD packages have some sort of an add-on package for this type of thing. At this point, of course, WIKISPEED's using various types of CAD packages, mostly GeoMagick. But you can take the CAD that's produced in any of these packages and send it through, open it up in another software package that's hopefully open source and free, and configure it to run these tests that we need. There'll be a lot of work iterating through getting all of the configuration right, but I think this week if we can a small handful of software packages to test and see if it'll do what we want.
I was under the impression that GeoMagick actually did have that sort of built in, but it's not enabled for scripting.
Okay, now when you say enabled for scripting, I want to touch on that for a second. Any of these executables have command line? I mean, a good way to test is just to open up PowerShell or a command prompt and just do exe whack question mark and find out what commands it supports. A lot do allow you to automate quite a good amount. So I mean, how is this process done currently? Because I mean, there's also auto hotkey. I mean, if the computer's fast enough, we can script where it needs to click and what it needs to type. I mean, there are some options to automate this stuff. Sorry, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm not sure. My problem is that I don't know how it. Go ahead, Chris.
So I'm not sure that it is being done now. Like when on my CAD, I used FreeCAD, and it was not an option for me to do it. So mine's actually being tested physically, like my chassis that I built. The fact that GeoMagick maybe has it, I do have a copy of GeoMagick, but it's a couple versions back because I have a 32-bit version of Windows 7, which does not work with the latest versions of GeoMagick. So I would say to that needs to definitely be one on the very small list that we test. Because if it's available in GeoMagick, we already have, I believe, 10 licenses that have been donated that have not all been used yet. So kind of the core team, that may actually end up being the best solution. So actually, I'm going to make a note of that. That's one that I need to look into and see, do some of these test things, see if there's a command line, see what the automation options are.
Great. And
so I wanted to bring the shop last. Doc, what's his name? Doc Doolittle?
Yes.
Was telling the story and said something that I had never heard before. But what he basically said was that Joe wrote a program that does just this, and it was so accurate that WIKISPEED no longer is required to do physical crash testing. And so I'm wondering if we don't actually have something like that.
I think. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say that's very possible. I know exactly what you're talking about. It may be that was written either in our previous CAD package, or it may be completely separate. If it is, that would be definitely another one we need to check.
So we may need to Trello-ize that and reach out to Joe in an email and see what exists.
Hey, guys, this says amp view here. Hang on. Sorry. Excuse me. Let me get in here. Sorry, guys. Sucks. Does that look familiar? Is that what we're talking about?
It is exactly what we're talking about.
Great.
Yes.
That's done in a program that says here amp view. Does that sound familiar?
Unfortunately, no.
All right. So maybe we hit up Joe and pick his brain about this, because I have a sneaking suspicion he'll know something or another about it.
Yeah, but we know we have to do crash cam accurate.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's enough to get away with that. So I agree. So maybe that's the next step, is involving him and see what he suggests to get that kind of output. Because when I talked to him about this, and I've kind of peppered him with questions about how we get around how we get our 5-star crash test rating without even having to submit to the NHTSA, and he says this is exactly how we do it. So we should find out what his process is to do this and recreate it. If this is what works, we should try. I mean, this is in my view. We should try not to reinvent the wheel too much. If this is a process that we know works, that is certified, that we've gotten these ratings, and we can consistently get these ratings with the submission. So I think at this point we probably need to bring Joe into this. Yeah.
So to recap then, for our retrospective, our element is to find the automation or have an automation for that. And one of the first step to do then is to ask Joe where and how he did that with the Nishta CAD certification. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
That wraps up our retrospective, which is awesome, within about 35 minutes for 7 people. I'll need to stop the recording for the time being, as my internet's not that great, so it takes a while for me to load movies that large. I haven't had a chance to look into that yet, but